Maxed out stats, level 100. Elsa fully trained, Eva fully trained, and where he's got me the biggest place he's got me right now, besides the confidentiality, is his boosts are so much higher. So 935, he's got almost what 90% higher attack. He's got a 70 something percent higher defense, and he's got only a little bit on health, but it's a chunk. That's a big deal. Rich, do you mind changing out to T5? Just send me out a T5 march, and nope, just a typical T5 march, which I think is 312,000 units for you. Now, we looked at how we're fighting a stronger enemy. Now he's just running T5 out, so and it's less units. I'm still using a 60% March expansion. If I attack him, I want to do the same thing. I still want to bite his ankles, so I'm going to do a quick hit. Just because it's not T6 doesn't mean that we throw this stuff out of the window. We still want to keep playing the same one. I'm just slowly eating down the amount of units, even though I've got a huge advantage on him. This is still a strong T5 player. But what you'll see is my reports, they're still pretty even. I'm going to keep doing this until I've got him close to halfway. With a T5 march, I want, even though I've got the expansion, I'm still going to be ankle biting for a second. He, of course, thinks that I'm just being annoying. He thinks I'm not really doing damage to him. He's a big whale. He's a player going, he hits and runs and hits and runs like an idiot. No, let me show you who's the idiot. You're doing this to a guy. He still got me way beat on stats. He's T5. We keep beating his numbers down. And if you really pay attention when I'm fighting these guys, you'll see that even when he's down, you know, that's not even a quarter. I'm not coming out there doing a long hit on him. I'm still going to be biting these ankles just repeatedly. This is what I do all the time. Y'all see me. I just keep on and on. What I've run into a problem now is my garage. I've got too many in it to be coming out with a full march every time. So if you're going to do that where you have like a little bit of a cushion, be careful that you're not eating into that cushion too far, or it's not coming out with that full march. So let me go down here. See, I'm coming out at 445,000, 444. It's not a big difference, but I want the best I can get. So I don't want that to keep getting down. So now I'm back up to the 447,000. You just keep doing that until you've got him eaten down a pretty good amount. That's not enough for a long hit, in my opinion. I still want it to go down closer to that halfway mark. Now, when he gets down about this far, this is usually when that guy will have his march exit, is about at this point. If he's not paying attention, the faster you're hitting him, in this situation, the better. But once he's down to about this is when I want to go in for that bigger hit. You'll see that about this point, this is where I start to pull ahead a little bit. Now I'm coming in for that bigger hit. Again, I'm getting good returns. I can see it from numbers. But why keep it going if I can reload instantly and come out with a full march? Now, you see what I'm saying? Like, if he's not paying attention, I'm going to keep reloading and then coming out and hitting. Now that he got him in the orange, now I'll do a pretty good hit. But I won't let it just keep going. I'll let it go for a little bit, 10 seconds, maybe 15 seconds. I'm coming right back in. I'm coming out with a full march and hitting again. Look at that. Barely better. Barely. Still, barely better. Not the big hit we're looking for. This is where we start to see the big hit. 10 seconds, so the skill damage is kicking in. This is what I'm making up for. He's still got 148,000 troops. If you're going to fight these strong guys, you have to be an ankle biter. I'm a strong guy, but Grinch is very strong. You can't fight a guy like Grinch just as a weaker player, just head to head. Now, and Grinch, if you would, um, you can reload. You don't have to. Um, I'm going to show. I want to show a concept here. Let me recall my marches. When I come out, we're attacking an enemy, and whether we're doing it um, as a swarm or you have multiple marches. My first march is my buffed march. So I want this march to be buffed. How do I know that that march is buffed? Is based on basically two things. First thing it's going to be based on is my officers' talents. Sorry, not talents. All right. My officers' training. So in here, I need to look at what this does. This increases my own attack. That buffs me. This skill increases my troops' attack and the stat damage that it deals. It buffs my one march. Does some damage. This one down here reduces stat damage my troops take and increases my health by 25%. It buffs my march. So primarily these are buffing my march. Instead of this one that it recommends, where the stat damage ideal, I could go with the alternate and the stat damage the target takes. It debuffs the enemy march. This is a debuff skill. Very different. Debuffs are much more useful when you have more people attacking than the enemy. So let's say that Grinch is out on the field. He's strong. He's way stronger than I am. I'm coming out to support him. Well, if I'm going to be supporting him, I don't need to buff my march. I need to debuff the enemy. So I'm going to go with this. Now I get to the next one. He recommends this. I think the one we had was this one. Reduces the stat damage that my troops take and increases my troops' health. This one reduces the stat damage the target deals. It's debuffing the enemy. That's the one I'm going to go for. So I'm making, as a supporting fighter, I'm making a march that debuffs the enemy that Grinch is going to be primarily based on. I want to do that on both of Elsa and Eva, if this is going to be the supporting. So if I'm not buffing my march, if this is going to be a supporting march in some way, I'm going to set it up for debuffing the enemy. Now, if I go to promote and I'm going to go to training, the target is going to take 20% more stat damage. If I do this on both officers, the target is going to take 40% more stat damage. Reduces the stat damage the target deals by 20%. I can increase the stat damage the enemy is taking by 40% and also reduce the stat damage the target is dealing by 40%. That's huge. That is way more effective when Grinch is out there fighting and I come into support than if I'm using a weaker march than Grinch and I go, oh, well, I just want to beef my own march up. And the reason is, imagine if Grinch had 3 or 4 supporting marches that were waiting to help him, and a strong enemy comes out, and Grinch is fighting him. And we jump out with all these other marches, and we debuff that march all at the same time. It's going to get mowed. We want to do the same thing when we're swarming. If I'm going after an enemy base, and me and Grinch are going to be swarming this enemy base, maybe it's Death Dealers. If we're going to swarm that base, we don't want to buff our marches. We want to debuff the enemy we're hitting altogether, so it does way less damage. All right, so hopefully this was helpful so that you can kind of see the big difference in, even though there's a big difference in power between me and Grinch, I'm using numbers and reloading to restack over and over again, so it's not a huge difference in the fight. And you can actually see this because Grinch fights pretty much the same way. He's fighting smart, and that's why Grinch is 874 million points in bio. And if we go down here to, let's say Warpig. Warpig's a white and gold base, $100,000 base. He's not even half of what Grinch is scored. And Warpig has 5-6 marches with matched warships, and yet Grinch is fighting primarily with 1 or 2 marches. You can see that big difference because of how Grinch knows to march. He's using march expansions. He's not running a bunch of marches. He's running out 1 max march. He's playing smart. So, I don't know that there's a lot of other guys that are strong field fighters that we had. Baba Yaga, he's still over Baba Yaga, and Baba Yaga's got max points. So there's the bad guy. He's a strong player, but 424, that's still not even half of what Grinch scored. Keep in mind, bad guy's T6, this guy's T6, Baba Yaga's T6, this guy's T6. I'm T5. I'm only 122 million power. That's 1.1 billion points for a T5 player. This guy's 190 million. Baba Yaga's 250 million. I'm a little guy. Just playing smart and setting yourself up to support correctly or to ankle bite correctly. If I'm ankle biting, I'm probably not going to be debuffing that march. I'm probably going to be buffing my march. But if I'm letting Grinch fight a guy and I'm just coming in to support Grinch, I'm going to be a debuff. Just by doing that, you're going to see a huge difference in our field control and how many points you're scoring on the battle. Hopefully that was helpful. Sorry.